we need to also calculate down here our days of sales outstanding, days inventory on hand, and days of payables outstanding. Okay, well, let's just recap our formula. So for DSO, we would be taking receivables as a percentage of sales and multiplying by 365. Okay, now you might be thinking, wait a minute, Martin, shouldn't you be taking average receivables? And that's true as far as accounting is concerned. But in modeling, my friends, we tend to just take that year's accounts receivables. And then DOH, days inventory on hand, will of course take inventory over COGS and multiply by 365. And then the last one that we need to do is DPO, which will take the payables, of course, divide them by COGS. Now, notice that some analysts use purchases rather than COGS, but in this reading, we are using COGS, and again, multiply by 365. So let's get started. For the days sales outstanding, I'm going to take my receivables for year 1, divided by my sales, and then multiply by 365. Okay, and that's going to give me 22 days. So I'm waiting for 22 days before my customer pays me from the time of making the sale. Now, for DOH, I'm going to take, of course, inventory as a percentage of cost of goods sold and multiply by 365, and that's 46 days there. And for DPO, I'm going to take payables as a percentage of COGS and multiply by 365. Okay, so I've got these days. Now, remember, the case did say that we are assuming the days won't change, so we're just going to point to these numbers, and we will keep these numbers constant for the duration of our model. Okay? Now, of course, again, we've got built-in flexibility. If we want to change these numbers later, we can. Okay? If we want to build in some improvement or worsening in the days, we have that ability. Now, let's go to year 2 now and try to work out the receivables based on the days. Now, we have to actually rearrange this formula. So let's think about it. If DSO is receivables over sales times 365, and I need receivables, well, I need to rearrange that formula. So I need to take DSO times sales over 365, okay? And similarly, I will need to rearrange the other two formulae as well. So let's go here and do this. So the way I think of it actually is I could take the days as a percentage of 365 and then multiply by sales. That's how I kind of like to think about it. So there you go, my accounts receivables for year 2 are 36. And then for inventory, I need to take DOH as a percentage of 365 and of course multiply this time by cost of goods sold. And for DPO, I will take 59 divided by 365. And again, I'm going to apply cost of goods sold. So there you go. I've got the numbers there. Now, one other thing that I want to do here in the next line is actually calculate the working capital. And here, some analysts may make a mistake. Some analysts may just use the sum function here. But remember, accounts payable is a liability, so that would be incorrect. You should be adding receivables and inventory, but actually subtracting accounts payable. So there's my working capital in year 1, and that's grown to 18 in year 2. And if you keep dragging, you can see your working capital for years 3 and 4. Now, do bear in mind that if we were building a free cash flow model or just calculating the cash flow from operating activities, we are going to need the investment in working capital. So what would that be? Well, if in year 1 we have a working capital of 15,000 and in year 2 it has increased to 18,000, i.e. it's increased by 3,000, we have an investment in working capital of 3,000, i.e. our outflow is 3,000.